This episode is brought to you by Indeed. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/SBO. Terms and conditions apply.
We're so done with new year, new you. This year, it's more you on Bumble. More of you shamelessly sending playlists, especially that one filled with show tunes. More of you finding Geminis because you know you always like them. More of you dating with intention because you know what you want. And you know what? We love that for you. Someone else will too. Be more you this year and find them on Bumble.
I'm Candice Lim.
And I'm Kate Lindsay, and you're listening to ICYMI.
In case you missed it.
Slate's podcast about internet culture.
And guess what, guys? I am screaming, crying, throwing up out of joy because I have some amazing news, which is that today, our search for a co-host has finally ended. Our long national nightmare is over. And Kate Lindsay, welcome to the ICYMI universe, the ICU. Here's the deal. You may know Kate from her awesome Substack. It's called Embedded. Her claims to fame are her viral pieces on Millennial Pause and Raw Dogging. You've heard her here on ICYMI talking to me about the state of dating apps, trad wives, and now she is here to stay. So Kate, welcome to the pod. Forever?
Thank you. Yes, as I've been saying, I'm very new to this world. I'm used to I feel like journalists are more so gremlins who are not in the spotlight and don't know how to hold a normal human conversation. And I can't promise that, but it's very, very new and fun and exciting for me to be sort of on this side of things.
Heck yeah. And Kate, as you know, we usually ask people like what their first internet memory is. You've come on the show so many times that we have not only asked you about your first internet memory, but we've also asked you if Jesus was canonically hot. That is like pre-me stuff. Do you remember your answers to either question?
I was trying to reflect back. I have to imagine for the purposes of getting into heaven, I said Jesus was hot.
Of course.
But kind of like hot in a way that like I understand Chris Evans is hot, but I don't, there's no tension between us. And that it's the same between me and Jesus, I find.
Hold on. So you're saying that you currently believe you have no tension between you and Jesus Christ. You guys are good, actually.
No sexual tension is more so what I mean. But,
interesting.
You know, I'm open to having my mind changed. But as of right now,
darling.
No, I friend zoned him.
Oh my God. Okay. And then first internet memory, do you remember what that was?
I imagine it's got to be sort of my classic, which is fanfiction.net. I know that my entry into the internet was I used to live in England. We moved back when I was 11, and my parents introduced me to the concept of email to stay in touch with my close friends. And I am for sure the first thing I did was go to google.com and Google like Harry kissing Hermione and got, more than I could have ever bargained for on fanfiction.net.
Well, because I've already asked you about your first, maybe instead I should ask you, Kate, what's the last thing you watched on YouTube?
The last thing I watched, I was hoping I'd have something a little bit more flattering to show you, but literally the last 5 videos in my history are all different ASMR videos that I must have listened to fall asleep. There's one creator who did sort of an advent calendar thing where she would open up a new, just do a new unboxing every single day until Christmas. And those are great. You can it's like the same thing every single time. Mm-hmm. She's my ASMR artist of choice. She is Scottish. So I like that. And she just talks about her makeup. And I went into this being like, I'm going to be fully honest about every question. And this is how
and now you're regretting it.
I'm regretting it. But
I would like to return.
I would like to be a liar again. It was a vlog. Yeah. Candice, now that I've bared that part of my soul to you in the first 5 minutes, I need to know yours.
Okay. I think this one's quite safe. It was the Jay Jordan episode of the Caleb Heron podcast. And I actually thought it was really good. And it's like long if anyone's really into listening to two funny people talk in front of a microphone. That's not this podcast. I'd pick that podcast.
When you're done with this one. Yeah.
Literally. It's so cute and fun.
Love Caleb's podcast. The Cooper story. Yeah. Iconic.
See, that deserves Library of Congress. You know when Joe Biden gave like people the Presidential Medal of Freedom?
Right. Where was Caleb?
Where was Caleb? But more importantly, where was Cooper?
Where was Cooper? Yeah.
Well, I want to learn everything and more about you, Kate. And guess what? You're actually the topic of this episode. Oh, scared? Into it?
I'm just happy that I'm the topic of an episode, but not because I'm being canceled yet.
Oh, for now. Anyway, look. The ICYMI team thought that the best way for you guys, our listeners, to learn more about Kate is to immediately put her on the spot and make her divulge her internet history. So that's what we're going to do after a short break. It's always fun to dive into the latest rumors, like who's dating who, and who will be on the next season of our favorite show. Well, here's one rumor to squash: the idea that Discover isn't widely accepted. Truth is, Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. That means it's accepted basically anywhere across the country. Don't pay attention to every rumor out there, but remember, it does pay to discover. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard. This podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations. Hey there! If you love our podcast, then maybe you should consider subscribing to Slate Plus to immediately unlock bonus episodes. You'll access ad-free listening across all your favorite Slate podcasts, including bi-weekly bonus episodes of this show. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts by clicking Try Free at the top of our show page, or visit slate.com/ICYMI Plus to get access wherever you listen. And we're back. I am here with the new co-host of ICYMI, Kate Lindsay. What do we think, Kate? I think that has like a nice ring to it, don't you think?
Yes, and I was thinking, you know how people like to do couple names? Oh. Ours, it doesn't quite do a couple name, but it does like Kardashianify your name, where it's like Candice with a K. I don't know how you feel about that.
Oh, I like that. We also have the same last initial, L. I feel like there's something there. CLKL.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot to work with here.
I know. We're doing brand testing, guys.
Yeah.
Please jump in the Google Forms. We're doing brand testing. Anyway, here's the deal. Today is basically an extra special version of our Internet Diary segment where we usually use it as an excuse for me to talk to my internet crushes, which I guess you could be one of, except this time I have somehow convinced you to stay for longer than an hour-long interview, and so I guess here begins my scammer era. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, Kate Lindsay. We're entering your internet diaries with the first question, which is, what is the first platform that became an integral part of your life? Like, what is the first platform you visited every day, your spiritual internet home, if you will?
Okay, in the spirit of radical honesty, we're going to go deep into the early Harry Potter fandom universe.
Good.
So I would say that MuggleNet was probably the website that I checked every day for updates on the book and then the movies when the books ran out. And then one of the platforms that kind of spun off of that is called the Leaky Cauldron.
Ooh.
And on the Leaky Cauldron, you were able to sign up, get sorted, and you were like in a house and you earned your house points by doing things on the website like commenting, starting forum conversations. And I just know that it got really competitive. I was Ravenclaw and it got very competitive about which house would win the cup. And it was kind of role playing, but you were yourself, but you were in Hogwarts. I still think I would have fun on it, but I'm glad I outgrew it. But I did bring a wand to college.
Hold on. You brought a wand to college, Harry. Okay, let's start here. Where is the wand from? And like, did you leave it out? Did you hide it? Were people asking?
This is so I went to Kenyon College, which is kind of has a relationship with Harry Potter in the sense that I'm like, this is fake news. None of them saying it out loud on the podcast of record. But some people were saying like the Great Hall was inspired by our dining hall, which I'm like, how can that be true now that I'm saying it? But it looked a lot like it. It was very Gothic architecture. They had like a whole Harry Potter day. And when I was applying for schools, I was still in that era. And so that was appealing to me. And so I brought my wand, which I think was a Christmas gift, but it did, if you pressed a button, make like a whooshing noise.
Here we go. Mm-hmm.
Brought the wand. And I would say it took about 3 days for me to kind of clock that there wasn't really a situation in which that wand was relevant.
Oh, sure.
And so kind of like, what is it called when the notorious sort of over Thanksgiving, you break up with someone? It's like the turkey drop or something.
Oh, the Max movie Sweethearts. Continue.
Right, exactly. Yes, I did that, but with my wand. I brought it back home and I said, you know what? Because I think I realized pretty quickly, I'm not putting this on display. I'm not telling people. It was like in a drawer, and then I needed to get rid of the evidence entirely, and I drove it 8 hours back home.
Wow. Okay, so where is it right now?
My parents have moved a few houses since then, and if that wand has made it through all those moves, then it really is magic and I should keep it.
I like that. Okay, this is good because now I know what I'm going to get you for Christmas.
Right? Yeah.
All right. Here's my question for you, Kate. What does a typical day on the internet look like for you? And this can kind of be like I wake up, I look at this. At lunch, I eat this. Before bed, I watch this. Tell me.
You guys, you know what I watch before bed now.
No.
But so I've had to go on a long extended journey with my relationship to internet consumption in general, because I now have a really hard and fast rule that I do not look at my phone first thing in the morning.
Smart.
I think it was Tavi Gevinson did a really good essay for The Cut that encapsulates why for me, where it's like if you wake up and the first thing you look at every day is Instagram, that is what the world in real life is going to be. That's going to be what you think matters when what matters is, the things around you. So I try to do like a hard hour before I look, which is, it can be hard on days, when like, I don't know, Biden drops out or there's some type of media drama. I'll realize I spent an hour missing out on some very interesting information. But so I'll do the Wordle.
Good.
I'll try to do some either journaling or writing on a good day. But then when I do get on, I kind of go through the same motions. I'll go to Substack for my newsletter. I will go to Reddit. I'll check out FOMOI, which I know is a place that you have mentioned lingering. NYC influencer snark, which I know you recently talked about. I don't participate, but I do lurk. And then Twitter is, unfortunately, I haven't left, but only because I simply cannot bring myself to make another social media account on another platform. And so aside from all that, I'll look on TikTok. And that is, I would say, TikTok primarily how I get a lot of my ideas and news, just because all you have to do is sit there and it comes at you. So I'm going to have to start getting creative. But yeah, and then when I'm off the clock, so to speak, I really try to, there's that tweet that's like, I can't wait to transition from bad screen to good screen. I try to transition from work laptop screen to TV screen.
Yeah.
And I'll like knit, do something with my hands, or I'll go to pottery. I like to go to pottery. And then it's time to check in on my Scottish ASMRist and the advent calendars, and before I know it, I'm gone.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, Kate. One of the questions that I get a lot as someone who covers the internet is, how do you have fun on the internet when it's your job? Is there like a space or a site or a subreddit that you go to where that little voice in your head that sounds a lot like an editor and says like, this could be a story, like that person just shuts up and you're like, this is fun time. This is me time.
This is something I haven't quite cracked when it comes to when am I having fun versus when am I working online. And I think the way I've kind of hacked it is by writing my own newsletter. If I'm having fun with something, to me, that's a good sign that maybe other people would have fun with it. And so I try to have them have somewhat of a good relationship where, if it's, I can have the fun part and I can have the money part. But then in terms of really wanting to just consume content without that little knee jerk thing that's like, oh, should I do something this? Should I interview this person? I'll go to just like really niche corners where like truly nothing's happening for me to write about. So a lot of that is like the crafting. Not to say the crafting community doesn't have drama, but in terms of like finding like my little tutorial videos or people just try, like they love to do outfit videos where they're trying on only clothes that they've made, like very benign content like that. Or, and this will come up later, I will go to my tried and true Brit crew YouTubers. I love them. I still follow all of them. They're kind of millennial passe now, and so there's really no reason to ever write about them, but they're still going. Zoella's Vlogmas was incredible.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I open up my computer and there's a 40-minute Zoella vlog waiting for me, like I'm set. I don't want to hear from anyone. No one needs to hear from me.
Yeah. Sometimes when I wake up, and like just full disclosure, it's winter time. When I wake up, I want to stay in bed because I'm really warm and cuddly. Sometimes what I need to like motivate me to like actually get out of bed is watching like a vlog from literally like 2019 that I love and turn to whenever I need to feel productive. For me, it's usually like Emma Chamberlain vloggies, but honestly there is something actually really smart about going back in time, or at least checking in on someone who you honestly know probably is not going to talk about current events,
right? But
the vibe is kind of like aesthetically where you want to be in 2019.
Okay, this is actually reminds me of something. I don't know if I never followed Aspen Ovard on YouTube.
My God, Kate, let's talk about it.
Did you see she caused waves because on TikTok
crazy.
She was, she's being, there's actually many reasons she caused waves on TikTok.
Tonight.
And this is arguably the least interesting of them, but she also made this like sort of throwaway comment, like, because she was like, queen of those kind of get ready with me morning routine videos that you are referring to. And she kind of made this throwaway comment on TikTok. Like, I thought we all knew that those were fake. And people were mad because people felt betrayed. And some people were also like, I always knew it was fake. I definitely thought it was as real as someone filming a morning routine could be. Like, I obviously knew the camera wasn't just happening to catch them waking up. Like, I knew they had to set that up first. Like, I wasn't totally oblivious.
Yeah.
But she kind of was just like, the entire thing was just fabricated for videos. And that is hard to hear.
It's hard to hear. It's hard to hear. If you were like of sane mind, Aspen Ovard unfortunately has been coming back into the press because
people.com.
Was she Mormon or ex-Mormon?
Aspen Ovard is not Mormon, which is like the biggest shock to people because I believe she was kind of raised in that area, raised in around people in that community, married young. So you'd be forgiven for thinking all the signs are there. But no, she's not. But that doesn't make her recent behavior on TikTok any less cuckoo.
Yeah, speaking of cuckoo, she had kids with this guy who, is his name also Cooper?
It's in the same genre. His name's Parker.
Ew. Ew. Okay. So Aspen married young. This guy named Parker was her husband. They had kids. They allegedly got divorced last year when she was pregnant or
just had a baby.
Just had their baby. It was a whole thing. Literally around Christmas, she gets into a TikTok fight with Parker's mom because like Parker's mom posts something that's kind of a subtweet of her, and Aspen posts this like TikTok where it's something kind of like, at least, what was it? It was like, I'm in bed with your son. Yeah.
She just posted like a very suggestive video.
Yeah.
Kind of grinding on her ex-husband in bed. And it was really shocking and people thought she had been hacked. But like, it's now kind of her new engagement play. And she's constantly threatening. It's one of those things where she's constantly threatening to spill the tea of the divorce, but never has. Yeah. And it's like, at a certain point, that tea is going cold.
Exactly. And like
to continue the metaphor.
And it continues with me like going on Reddit being like, wait, did her divorce get canceled? Is she still divorced? Like, what is going on? I think she'll be an interesting character in 2025.
Yeah. Everyone, person to watch, but
Person to watch.
morning routines, fake.
Literally. Dimmels in middle ground. Anyway. Kate, I want to ask, what are your personal rules for engaging online? Like, how often do you post? Where? How do you pick who to fight and who to ignore?
So similar to some of my earlier answers, this has also fluctuated a lot. I grew up posting like crazy lyric statuses every day, every hour when I was home from school, just pointed at other people. I've done like some messy tweets, you know, as a journalist in New York City trying to like get footing, retweets were currency, and I was trying my hardest in ways that I'm not proud of. So I would say now I'm much more quiet on the internet, but it doesn't mean I'm not there. Like from the outside perspective, it might look that I'm not very online, but it's because I'm so now careful with what I put out there. And otherwise, I'm in the shadows lurking. But I would say my biggest rule, because I'm not totally silent, and sometimes I'll just like randomly be on one and have a really active day and then go away again. But my rule is, especially when it comes to fights, I will never be mean to someone first, because I think dunk culture, like what is like a smarm, pessimism, it's everywhere. And I'm not going to like dunk on, I have in the past, and it doesn't make me feel good. Not just going to dunk on a tweet or a person or an article just because I like know I would score internet points. I will not be mean first. But if someone is rude to me, I will meet them where they are at.
I like that. I like that. Do you have like a memorable, I don't know, is this a good question? Do you have like a memorable, I don't know, Twitter fight where you're like, I won that. I ate that pin.
So I think basically I've written, especially over the past year, and I'm like very surprised and grateful, but I've just had pieces that I would never expect take off. And so I would say the meanest anyone has ever been to me for the most benign of articles is I wrote a piece for Bustle about location sharing and how it's become really common to, when you're friends with someone, close with someone, your partner, your family, you kind of have each other's location. And I get that, you know, I get why hackles could be raised at that. But I have all my friends. Sometimes I'll like just, it's there. I'll look and I'll be like, oh, look, everyone's at home. How cute. And so I like began a trend piece about location sharing with that anecdote. And I had people just like crawling out of every crevice of the internet into my Instagram comments, my DMs, all over Twitter, calling me insane. Like, like someone commented, came to my Instagram, had to type my name into Instagram to come and tell me in the comments that she thought I needed professional help. And so
like,
actually,
yes, I do.
Yeah, yes, I do, and I'm getting it, but weirdly not for this reason. But yeah, so I would, in instances like that, if I can think of like a good dunk, and I would say I can't think of anything specific, but so many of these people essentially were just outing themselves for like never having had friends or like not really having close relationships, because I'm like, if you can't relate to anything in this article, then I feel bad, because it's fun to have people you care about and who care about you. But I think for the most part, what I will do is if I'm in an argument or someone leaves something insane in my Instagram comments, I will never delete them. Like you can go find that comment I just mentioned, because I know that I'm behaving normally and that they are not. And I'd like to think with time, if they get reminded of that comment or that tweet or whatever, they'll be like, wait, why did I go to a stranger's account and tell them they needed psychological help for a bustle.com article? Yeah. But we'll see. Maybe that's wishful thinking.
No, I think this is correct. Like, I do kind of hate when people like delete their comments. If they close off the comment section, like okay, Chriselle, we've all been there. But I do think it's kind of funny that the location sharing is the one that kind of put a target on you a bit. Because, like, you didn't invent location sharing.
No.
You did not code that app. But also, I could totally see, like, some people trying to make this about them in a very conspiracy way of, like, well, it's actually because the government is spying on me via location sharing. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I don't want to see you at McDonald's. If I was your spy, if I was your CIA agent, I actually think I'd just quit. It's too boring.
Yeah. No, I feel like, can I get a new one? This one
literally.
sucks.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. I'm having the best time, but we do need to take a short break. When we come back, more Kate.
Oh, it's such a clutch off-season pickup, Dave.
I was worried we'd bring back the same team.
I meant those blackout motorized shades.
Blinds.com made it crazy affordable to replace our old blinds.
Hard to install?
No, it's easy. I installed these and then got some for my mom. She talked to a design consultant for free and scheduled a professional measure and install.
Hall of Fame son.
They're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings in the world.
Blinds.com is the GOAT.
Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 45% off select styles. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Build a routine with Ollie that supports your wellness needs, like getting your daily vitamins and minerals with Ollie's multi-gummies, or keeping your mood upbeat with all the vitamin D in Hello Happy. Give your gut health some support with probiotics, and wake up feeling refreshed after taking Ollie Sleep. Do wellness on your terms. Find Ollie at a Walmart or Target near you or at ollie.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
It's time for another round. May you live in interesting times.
Well, I don't think we have a choice, Mary.
Trump's back, and this time he's got way fewer restraints and a literal playbook for MAGA-ifying the United States.
For most of human history, people have lived under kings and queens, and not everybody believes that there's anything wrong with that.
All this can be overwhelming, but you can't afford to not pay attention. That's where What Next comes in. We are a new kind of daily news podcast, fast enough to keep up and careful enough to take a step back and think.
Democracy is not a thing that we did and now have to protect and dust off. It's a thing that we still have it within ourselves to accomplish.
The next 4 years are going to be a roller coaster. You need someone there to help you figure out what next. Follow and listen to What Next wherever you get your podcasts.
And we're back. I am here with Kate Lindsay, my brand new co-host of this very podcast. Kate, are you ready to enter the last dimension of your internet diary?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Kate, what meme do you reference the most?
I, at least once a week, if not once a day, let people know that I either just did or I'm about to go piss girl, which is that.
You said this to me today. Like,
yes,
that's how accurate it is.
Yes, I literally, you had to go piss girl before a meeting, and I wanted to let you know, go piss girl. I love everything. So it started as there was this meme where people rearranged the letters on the sort of the Gossip Girl poster to just say different things, like, you know, making anagrams. One was Go Piss Girl. That was actually the most coherent of what ended up coming out of that sort of meme cycle, but it has stuck with me for years. It is an announcement that's helpful.
Yes.
It is. It's words of encouragement you can offer someone. It is a declaration. It is a reclaiming of the body. It is important. And it's just, you know, it's so hard to know. Sometimes, you know, you're like, I'm going to go to the bathroom, or I've heard a more like corporate speak. Sometimes people call it a bio break. I just learned about this.
I'm sorry, what?
Bio break? Like a biology break?
People are saying you can take a bio break, aka I'm going to use the bathroom.
They'll put it in like an agenda for a meeting. I have some friends who work in corporate, and they astonish me every day. And this was one of the more astonishing ones, that it'll be like 12 p.m. bio break. And my petition is it should say 12 p.m. Go Piss Girl.
That what? That is so AI coded to me.
I know.
Like, that
I know.
is what a robot thinks I'm doing. And it's
right.
like,
Having a
robot?
right, bio break is so like a robot being like, well, the same way I have to like refuel my oil.
It's very
I don't know.
Wall-E. Yeah.
Yes, very Wall-E. Yeah, I don't like it at all. More places should be saying go piss girl, but it's just stuck with me. I couldn't get rid of it if I tried. It is so ingrained.
Yeah. It is, to me, a bit of a calling card as well, where it's like if I'm having coffee with someone for the first time and they're like, I'm going to go pee, and then I say go piss girl, if they laugh,
oh yeah,
I know we're about to have more coffees.
Right.
You know?
And if they don't, good luck with that conversation.
If they don't, you're leaving. Here's the deal. Kate, obviously, I have spent some time scrolling through your Twitter, your Instagram. It's a very, very common practice we practice here. And it's interesting because I don't think you tweet enough about Harry Potter. I don't think you tweet enough about the wand you carried
oh, no,
in
that's
college.
private. That is
I know,
private.
I know. I did want to ask that, like, are you a stan of anyone right now? Like, where are you just culturally? Like, who are you the close Chalamet of?
Oh my God. Okay. So I always will say that like this is really like a commitment to honesty because
Honesty zone.
Honesty zone. So because of Harry Potter, I didn't have time for anything else. Sort of culturally.
It's a job.
Yeah.
It's a job.
And attention wise. And so I never had the experience of like getting really into like a boy band or a boy celebrity. And I have gone on record about this. And it is a really specific time in my life where because of the I had never listened to the 1975. I had never listened to them all. And then TikTok started serving them to me. This is pre-Taylor Swift, pre-controversy. And I feel like I was radicalized. Like I became so obsessed to an unhealthy degree with Maddie Healy, Honesty Hour. And this is a pocket of time before a lot of stuff went down. But I remember in that moment when I was, looking up every interview he'd ever done and just like following Stan accounts and all this stuff, I was like, oh my God, it's so fun in your 30s to learn there's new emotions to experience. And because I thought I had felt them all and I hadn't, because I had never experienced just like having a boy band crush. Yeah. And now so much about Directioners makes sense to me.
Thank you
and
so much.
I ultimately think it was helpful for my internet culture reporting career to now I can come to them from a place of empathy.
Can I prescribe you someone that I feel like
please.
you might like? Okay.
Prescribe an antibiotic to my Maddie Healy love.
Hell yeah, because that's a disease.
Right. I need get well soon, me.
I really wonder if you might be a Drew Starkey person.
Okay, completely new name to me. Hold on.
Okay, so Drew Starkey is a cast member of the Netflix hit series Outer Banks, OBX.
Here's how I know him. Did he sit across from on the actors?
Harris Dickinson?
Yes.
Yeah.
And every time they cut in between them, I was like, wait, who is who? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's in this movie that just came out, Queer. Daniel Craig is in it. Drew Starkey, unfortunately, not in the Oscars conversation, but that's okay because he's definitely in the internet boyfriend conversation. I just feel like after this taping, I would like you to go on Tumblr, do some Drew Starkeys, maybe I'll send you some edits. Did I make them? We don't know. And
no one knows what you do online.
Exactly. And I feel like I might have given you a new reason to stan,
Yeah, because I will say I'm dormant right now. I don't have anyone. I've gone into back into
agent.
sort of I'm open. I'm available. Agent. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not I should be clear. I'm not still standing Maddie Healy to this day.
Right.
Proudly
You've actually
standing.
retired the jersey.
Yeah. I sort of quietly was like, oh, that was fun while it lasted, but it is now over.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. Okay. I would love to know, what are you most looking forward to in the new ICYMI era?
I have worked solo on internet culture for pretty much my entire career because when I first started at Refinery 29, this was before 2020. This was like 2018, 2019. It was an uphill battle to write about this stuff. It was really hard to convince them that anyone cared. And then the pandemic happened and suddenly people were knocking at my door to write about this stuff. And then I jumped around to a few places, but then my past 2 years were freelance, totally alone. I didn't have anyone to bounce ideas off of. And I just think all the time about how much was lost in the conversations I could be having because I wasn't having any. And so I'm just really excited to finally have someone on the other side of these things, these random tidbits that are in my brain. And I feel like we've already seen examples of that. The Aspen Ovard,
Go piss
all
girl.
that stuff. It's just like, I'm tired of being with myself. I'm excited to have someone there who could at least validate my insanity or prescribe an antidote to it in the case of Drew Starkey.
Prescribe an antidote and you get sicker, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's very real. I mean, like, there is something very interesting, refreshing, new, fun about kind of being in a group where you don't have to explain everything for the first time. It's funny, I saw this TikTok the other day that was like, in 2025, no more explanatory commas. And I was like, good luck telling the Associated Press that. Good luck telling any podcast / radio program your parents listen to no more explanatory commas. But I think what it came from is this idea of like, maybe like the people you've chosen to be in your life, part of the luxury of that is the fact that you don't have to explain yourself all the time. You don't have to define yourself all the time. You can just like walk into the studio, say go piss girl, and we're good.
At the place where I go piss girl?
Hey. Actually, that would be really funny if like from now on, every time you go to the bathroom and you see someone, which, by the way, is an awkward experience. Let's be very clear. This is both pre-COVID and post-COVID. One of the worst experiences is walking to the bathroom and you pass by someone that you know you work with, but you also don't know them. And also you know what they just did. You know what they just did. They know what you're about to do. There's nothing good to say, right? Except for like a head nod. But I'm not a head nod person. So I think, unfortunately...
No, someone else hearing me pee should be like a HIPAA violation. But it's not.
You would be better, though. I think it would be better if you... while you're in the bathroom, to really just kind of like add some type of like good energy to the room, you play the Scottish ASMR. Because I think there's something there, like that would actually overtake the sound of you going to piss girl.
I go in there to just have a moment and to disassociate.
But the worst part is like, I think the worst part is like the person next to you would be like, hold on. Is it that the AirPods are not connected, or was she never going to wear AirPods anyway?
Right. I came in there raw dogging, if you will, no AirPods. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I love that. You should literally go tell our CEO when you pass him in the bathroom.
I will. That'll be the first thing I say to the CEO.
Hell yeah. All right. Now we turn to something that could be serious, could be not, which is, Kate, what is something that you feel like most internet culture coverage is missing right now?
So it's funny. This answer is like now a complete flip-flop from what I was talking about, where in 2017, 18, 19, I'm like fighting for my life to get coverage of this stuff, to have people see that it matters and that lots of people think it matters. And it was great that 2020 helped catapult this huge part of culture and entertainment into the spotlight. That was the only great thing about 2020. But now I almost feel that internet culture reporting has overcorrected, in the sense that now, being a journalist who was raised on Twitter, the question that came around was always, okay, are you writing this because your Twitter feed is interested, or are people actually interested? And sometimes I think there is... or maybe this is less a critique and more so something I've just tried to consider when writing stuff and how to sort of place it moving forward, is, would a person sort of, sometimes I'll go with friends to a beach vacation in North Carolina and it'll be like a mom with her family sitting a few rows down. Would what I'm talking about mean anything to her? And if it doesn't, then I feel like I'm not talking about the right things, because everyone uses the internet, but tragically not everyone knows who Trisha Paytas is. And so if they don't know who Trisha Paytas is, how are they using the internet? What are their stories? What's their internet culture like? And so that's just, I think I've been really interested in finding out almost like what the online behavior of people who are not super online is, because I think that's a lot more people than we think.
Yeah. I want to ask, if you were to institute one rule that everyone on the internet had to follow, what would it be?
I'm over subtweeting. Put the person's name.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's like, I need to know if you're right. And I don't know that if you're subtweeting, because you're not giving me all the information. And I need to have the details and the tools to really dive into this and find out whose side I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think like vague posting, subtweeting, alluding to something but not linking to it. It's just like, give me the information. I don't like it drives me bananas because I'm just like, what are you adding to the world if you're just going to sort of coyly post? You clearly want to say something, so say it with your chest and full government name of the person you're talking about.
Well, here's my question, because I also have been seeing a TikTok of late that I'm still trying to figure out where I'm at with, where they're saying that, like, you know how people on TikTok will like talk about their friend, which is a subtweet in a way, where they'll be like, so I went to dinner with my friend and they did X and X etiquette behavior that I'm so against that I'm cutting them off. And there was a TikTok that was like, actually, I think in 2025, we need to stop posting content about our friends and we need to talk to our friends and just go straight to the source and be like, hey, this thing you did made me upset. Here's why.
No, I'm so pro that, because we turn it into content and then that friend is like, hello? Like it's such a bizarre thing where when we oh my God, you've hit on a soapbox of mine. And it really bugs me when people will just like take their true feelings about something and like vaguely put it out into the internet when it like directly involves a person like sitting next to them. I find that so dehumanizing and bizarre. And and that friend is gonna log on and be like, now, why am I in it? Why am I in your viral tweet?
Yeah. And I think a better example of how to really take this into the new year is, I think like one of my favorite tweets of the last 2 weeks is someone was sitting next to Mike Feist, like of Challengers, on the subway. And she was just like, I rode the subway with Mike Feist for 3 stops and he was doing the Wordle. And I was like, that's quaint. That's cute. Government names. I like that. I like that. And obviously she's not going to tell Mike Feist. Like,
no,
Wordle,
that's perfect.
But it's cute.
Right. If it was like, and I read his text messages and these were them.
Oh my God. I know. And then in the comments, she was like responding with even more information about it. She's like, yes, there's this person wearing a crazy hat across from us and we laughed at each other and made like eye contact. And I was like, you guys should have gotten married.
Did anyone ask the real question, which was what was his Wordle starting word? That's what I want to know. I want to know what he goes in with.
We need to talk to her. We need to talk to her right now. All right. Kate, I have some sad news. We have arrived. We have arrived at the last question of the episode. And I think this is actually one of our favorite questions team-wise. Therefore, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Kate, what is your most deeply held but least provable internet conspiracy theory?
Okay. Have you ever heard of dead internet theory?
Wait, I think Max Reed of the Substack Read Max brought this up on the show. I love that episode. Can you remind the audience what that is?
So it's coming back up recently, especially because of the rise of AI and the way that AI is just like ruining Facebook in particular. It's just like shrimp Jesus over there and
shrimp
boomers.
Jesus.
Wait,
what is that? What is that?
It is. Oh God, there's like not even like English language words for what is happening over there. But basically it's these AI images of Jesus, but he's, there's no other way to say it, made up a shrimp. It's, and it's
no other way to say it.
That's what it is. And then it's like boomers are commenting like amen on it. There's a really good newsletter called Garbage Day that really looked into it. And then 404 Media also looked into it. It's just like engagement farming. But so dead internet theory is separate from that. It sort of hypothesized. And so the original theory, which I don't fully stand behind, is that the internet died in 2016-ish.
Cool.
And that what they mean by that is that most of what we interact with and most of what determines what we see on our feed is the work of either bots or government agents. But basically this idea that the internet is not human-made anymore. It is all like spam, bots, and then like bad actors from the government. That's where it starts to go off the deep end for me. But I more agree, perhaps not right now, but I think where we are headed and is at this current moment is dead internet, because AI slop is everywhere. Engagement farming is everywhere. and, bots like make up so much of everyone's following. I would say I ascribe to a majority, and by majority I mean like 51% of content that we see online either is or ended up there through not human means, through a bot or an algorithm or a spam. And basically the theory is we are interacting with robots and people who are not real online more than you think. Not that we're having full conversations with them, but that's who's behind a lot of the content we're consuming or why that content got on our feed. It's a very pessimistic view of the internet. But now with what, Meta's doing with ending fact checking, all this, Shrimp Jesus is just going to go crazy. And it just is like, I classify dead internet as like when you're watching a Kardashian clip side by side with like a kinetic sand video. And it's kind of stuff like that where it's like, even if a human made it, that's still not real. It's slop. It's garbage. It's there to kind of hypnotize you. So that's my theory, is dead internet theory. Not that the government is controlling us using bots, but that the majority of our internet is kind of made up of slop at this point, and we interact with it and with people who are not real more than we think.
Can I ask a follow-up question about Shrimp Jesus? Because I'm actually really fascinated by this. Is the unifying theory on Shrimp Jesus that all shrimps are Jesus, or that Jesus was a shrimp?
See, the mistake you're making is like thinking there's any like sort of linear logic behind Shrimp Jesus.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they don't seem to have an agenda. It's actually what's most unnerving. They're not like, click this link. It'll be like a picture of Jesus made up entirely of small shrimps.
Sure.
And it kind of like Picasso-esque, like it assembles
very
into a Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the caption will be something like, most people won't appreciate this. And then it's just, and then it's just like comments from either real people, or this is where I'm like, bots. Because like I try to have more faith in humanity than hundreds of people seeing this and commenting things like, beautiful, amen, love this.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I'm looking at that and I'm like, a human didn't make this. A human didn't post it. I don't know if these are humans commenting on it. And yet a whole ecosystem exists around these Shrimp Jesus pages. And Shrimp Jesus is like one example. Like, it's not exclusively shrimp or Jesus. It is just bizarre AI art. It'll be like Coca-Cola. Or my sister sent me one the other day that was like a couch made out of bread loaves.
Yeah. Really
Really bizarre stuff that you would maybe see in a dream. But it's now on Facebook.com.
Okay, that's the show. We'll be back in your feed on Saturday, so definitely subscribe. That way you never miss an episode. Leave us a rating and a review in Apple or Spotify, and tell your friends about us. You can follow us on Twitter at ICYMI_pod, and you can always drop us a note at ICYMI@slate.com.
ICYMI is produced by Alexandra Botti, Candice Lim, and me, Kate Lindsay. Daisy Rosario is our senior supervising producer, and Alicia Montgomery is Slate's VP of Audio. See you online.
Or on MuggleNet.